When you think of the University of Arkansas, where does your mind go? What do you picture? Well, for some, Old Main may come to mind. Why is that? What has made Old Main the symbol for the University of Arkansas? Most people only know of the tiny emblem on their acceptance letter or the main label for the building on their class schedule, but there's a rich history behind the beautiful building that represents our campus. I got the opportunity to speak to Charlie Allison, a historian at the University of Arkansas. There, he gave me an in-depth tour of Old Main, all the way from the basement to the clock room. We had a great conversation where he taught me about the many fires that had taken place in Old Main, as well as years of neglect that led to several renovations that ended up giving us the Old Main that we all know now.
There was a major renovation in the late 1980s, early 90s. In essence, the building had been standing for more than 100 years, and it was feeling some of that strain, some of the neglect that happens over that kind of period.
Ever wonder why Old Main is called Old Main? Well, I did, and Charlie told me that Old Main used to basically be the only building on campus during the early years, which kind of caused it to self-title.
In the old days, it was called University Hall, but whenever anybody came to visit and asked, where do I go on the university campus to, get enrolled or find a professor, people would say, go to the main building, and it was constantly referred to as the main building, and pretty soon it was Main, and then it was Old Main.
Old Main. You can almost hear the bells when you think about it. Years ago, though, some could probably hear the bells a little bit clearer than most. Students would literally have to hand ring the bells until former Dean of Engineering, William Nathan Gladson, figured out a better way.
The bell was originally in the North Tower, and students would go up some steps to the roof and go out a little door onto the roof and walk across the roof to the North Tower. There was a door there that could be opened. You'd walk inside, and they would ring the bell to change classes. And so at some point, though, in the 50s, the real bell was replaced by some electronic carry-on.
One of the most interesting things I got out of my time with the very knowledgeable Charlie Allison was the timeline on the Old Main clock face. When the building was originally built in 1875, the university flat out ran out of money. This led to putting the construction of the clock face on the back burner. It remained there until 2005. This upcoming week, the clock face will celebrate its 19th anniversary on the U of A campus. It's unknown what caused the push for the clock face to finally be installed, though Charlie had a few theories for me.
There's a story that Bill Clinton was on campus at some point visiting, and in the evening one day, went out for a walk around campus and looked up at the tower, and he had a couple people with him. I don't know if they were aides or whatever, but he looked up at the tower and realized that there wasn't a clock up there. He said, wasn't there a clock there? And I could have sworn there was a clock, and the aide said no, it had never had a clock. And that was, I think, a little bit of the spur for Dave Gerhardt and friends to go ahead and pursue it.
A final little tidbit that I found interesting as a senior who thought she knew campus pretty well is that there's literally a little museum in Old Main. There's artifacts, pictures, information about Old Main's history, and even a room where you can kind of see the inner workings of the clock. It kind of shocked me, to be honest, not knowing about something that's so cool that's open for all students to check out. It made me wonder if there was even more on campus that I was missing out on. But that's for another time. So, for now, thanks for listening, and I'll see you next time.